So again, for those of you that are following, I just want to let you know that somebody has made a Facebook account under the name of Kim Howes, Howes, and that picture I just showed you is a picture that they're using as a profile. That's not me. At the same time, I've gotten messages to my phone number that I was using, and it just happens to be that somebody has hacked my phone number and is calling me from the phone number that I was using, as well as messaging me from it. So if you've received any messages from me, any of you that have the number that I've been using, disregard them because they're not from me. Okay? I know the message that I got was a copy of a message that seemed to be that they may have been reaching out to my daughter and sending me a copy of it. That's not cool with me. But I got it, and I'm going to use it as evidence, as the harassment and part of what's been going on here. And so why is my daughter in a hospital right now? She should not be, should she? Northeast Kingdom Mental Health Services. She should not be going through any of the stuff that she is. I recall back the weekend of January 1st, okay? They wanted Brianna to get on a bus. Northeast Kingdom Mental Health Services wanted my daughter to get on a bus knowing that there were storms coming in and a long holiday weekend, okay? With no means of anything. No food, no money for food, nothing. I overheard and I heard the whole conversation because Brianna was talking to Desiree on speaker and video outside of the home that we were staying at with a friend until we could get home. And so with that being said, we had a place to stay during Christmas and until we could get home. Knowing that the town of Anson had conspired to burn my home. I wouldn't have known that if my house sitter wouldn't have contacted me and Gordon's daughter-in-law hadn't sent me the video that he took burning my house after noting that Gordon and his girlfriend abused my daughter and then put her on the bus knowing that she had been let out of a ketamine hold. When I say that, and when I say illegal medical kidnapping, look it up. Brianna should have never been shot up with any kind of medications. However, follow Facebook postings. You're going to find that they're trying to legalize this pill, a pink pill called ketamine, Ketamine. I want you all to look it up, and I want you to find out what the side effects are before you start talking shit about me or my daughter. My daughter wasn't on drugs. She was drugged by the state of Vermont, overseen by the Attorney General, T.J. Donovan, directed by him, and the state's attorney, Vincent Aluzzi, who used to be the senator, who is still the prosecuting state's attorney for Essex County, and God only knows where he's weaseled his way into other places. But I can tell you that he's got a history of being frivolous. So does T.J. Donovan, recently, as well as his past. Bernie Sanders? All of them. Laura Wilson, the court-appointed attorney who says that she's handling civil rights cases as well. How in the hell do you not find that as a conflict of interest with that woman? She should not be representing anybody. Not my opinion, okay? And Northeast Kingdom Mental Health Services, if you're seeing the husband, you shouldn't be seeing the wife. If you're seeing the girlfriend, you shouldn't be seeing the boyfriend. Isn't that correct? Isn't that called a conflict of interest? Yes, it is. I'll answer that for you because it's a fact. But you can look it up. You can find out that when Chris Mitchell, for instance, an example, was counseling and has direction over what happens with these clients, he's a conflict of interest. Because you've got one going to one counselor telling them one thing, and you got one going, okay, so Chris Mitchell was counseling with Brianna's ex-boyfriend. And now he's the one in charge of what's happening with my daughter at the office and out of the office, okay? So, noting back to the week of New Year's Eve, just a couple weeks ago, Brianna was on the phone with Desiree. And Desiree was videoing with Brianna, and she knew Brianna's medical, and she knew Brianna's state of mind. But she also knew that Brianna was safe at the moment. So she tried telling her, and being all nice, blah, 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 blah to her, okay? I want the transcripts of that. I want the call logs, because I know that Brianna's phone has call logs, and I know Brianna's not going to lie and deny the fact that Trish, Chris Mitchell and Desiree. Now, so leading up to that, they're not the ones that put her on the bus because I said, oh, hell no. Now, you can do what you want, but Vermont State Police are the ones that contacted and got through to me that I needed to make medical decisions for my daughter. After they had frivolously put a no contact order between me and my daughter that they have still denied, even though they continue to keep it on there, and Brianna has requested to dismiss that because she didn't ask for it. She's asked for her name to be taken out of everything, and that's all on audio record, shared to video. And why isn't the state of Vermont doing it? Because it's an organized, conspired crime. Is that not so? It's my opinion, but it's also a fact, isn't it? So, with all the evidence that I have to prove, why did they insist? So, and again, knowing Brianna had just gotten out of the hospital, knowing that she was that sick, that she was puking and diarrhea. She couldn't even move without it happening. Okay? Noting that she had just been shot up and having an allergic reaction with bumps on her arm from where she had that shot. And it's all been reported. And then Northeast Kingdom Mental Health Services wants to put her on a bus and subject her again. This mama wasn't letting it happen, and I didn't let it happen. I made sure my daughter got safely up here. But because the town of Anson conspired to burn my home, we had no home to go to. The town office was contacted, and they told the American Red Cross that I didn't live there. The home had been condemned, and therefore they burned it. Well, that was a fucking lie, because I did live there. They frivolously condemned it. They gave me no notice, and you cannot condemn a home in repair, and you have to give a 30-day notice in the state of Maine with the intent to condemn, giving and allowing a chance for that person to correct what may be wrong. But that wasn't done. They went behind my back to my uncle, and they lied to Philip Dickey. Got his signature, or did they get his signature? It is his name, but is it his signature? Only we know that through the paperwork, and I can't talk about it, but you can only imagine when I know about it. But that's part of the case. However, they did get a notary to sign under his name. Again, was it Philip that signed his name? Where did this happen and when did it happen? Figure that one out. I can't tell you right now, but you're going to find out, okay? I also want you to know that Dawn Sanders from Washington, D.C., American Red Cross, is on this case. And she's going to conduct an investigation and find out, where was I living when the home got condemned? Was my mailing address changed? Did I have a house sitter? Did I have someone watching my chickens? Did I just send payment for more chicken feed? And do I have copies of all the email correspondence and Facebook messages about everything? Sure do. Do I have it in writing elsewhere about other situations? And do I have proof that I lived there and that my uncle knew I was there and that my uncle told the police of Somerset County Sheriff's Department that I was buying the home? I sure do. Other witnesses that knew that as well. So with that being said, Brianna's name was listed as being able to be in that home with me. And knowing that all this happened, and then she was brought to me in Maine and stayed at that home and asked for Gordon to watch her just for a couple days because he was supposed to help me fix the rest of the plumbing. I had electric and I had a toilet, but I didn't have the rest of my items in place because why? Gordon obviously had a plan, and it wasn't to bring my daughter back to me after his birthday fantasy. Isn't that right, Gordon Obert? Isn't that why Brianna disappeared and you didn't tell me anything about it? Isn't that why you never came up and helped me put the stuff together in place in the home that I couldn't physically do by myself? Isn't that why it was set up to be condemned? Even though it was in repair. and there was power on. Why would a fire department not contact the power company to have the power disconnected and utilities removed before condemning and burning a home all within the same week? And that is what the Anson and North Anson Fire Department, directed by the Anson Town Office, did to my home. After getting some kind of signature with my uncle's name on it and then notarizing it. Who notarized it and whose signature is it? When did they get the signature? How did they get the signature? And who took it to who to get that signature? Those are all answers to questions that we're going to find out, because I've got them. I shouldn't have been burned out of my home. Isn't that right, Anson Town Office, Somerset County Sheriff's Department, and all involved?